What you said, Sarah, reminded me of probably one of the most deep experiences of my life. And I would like to share it with everyone. 1966, when I met and had an interview with a very sweet man who I didn't know was considered the greatest Zen teacher of the 20th century. But anyway, he was just the man sitting in front of me, and I was sent because I wanted to have a deep meditation experience. I wanted to not just the the flighting sessions that I had in the US and even in Japan. So I went to this monastery and I had a letter from my teacher in Tokyo. And this very sweet man said to me, well, this is, what introduction interview. He said, what did you do in the United States? And I said, well, I was an aspiring dancer. And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, now you will learn the highest form of dance, movementless dance. And I remember sitting there and going, okay, I guess. And he was right. It was extraordinary, but it's that movementless dance, that being here, that being real, that I think we are all after. And yes, I'm very lucky to have been able to bring this work, well, for many, many years to Japan, and for the last 4 years, I think it is, to a large group of people in China. And it is so frustrating for me to do this work online. And here we are online. Hello, everybody online. I'm grateful and I hate it. Um, and maybe, well, the thing I miss is being with, although we are being with in a different way now. And it's all the years of being with Charlotte and others. It's the touch, I think, that we don't get to have now. This is a whole nother world. And as I work with the Chinese group, who I work with every other week for 4 years now, um, and other groups, how can we transfer that sense that some of us, those of you who are old enough to have worked in, or lucky enough, I should say, to have worked in person, how different is it as we sit here in front of this computer? And sometimes I just want to go, you know, touch, but that's very, very different. And so, in starting today, I would like to invite us all to just be with however you are right now. And I know you have been, and you're sensitive to that. But is there any more being with we might be able to be? Just feeling, just sensing nothing if it's nothing. And what is it you sense? Of course, everyone will be different. Every moment will be different. So, what is it? Who is it? How is it? right now. That breath, that little movement or large movement. What is it you are feeling, you are experiencing right now? You don't have to name it. How do you experience it? That phrase we all probably use so frequently, how are you, is profound. How are you right now? And what are you experiencing right now? Maybe your weight as it goes down into the chair or the floor. How do you experience your breathing right now? As you experience your breathing coming in or going out, how does that touch feel? Where do you feel the touch of your breath, of the air? Do you feel the touch of the air around your nostrils as the air moves in and out? Is the in touch different from the out touch? And can you feel the touch of the air, of your breath going in, and where in you do you feel it? How far in you? Does it go and make any change in you? What else of you is moved by this movement of your breath coming in? Maybe your lungs are moving. Maybe your shoulders. Any movement in your back. Does your breathing change anything in your underarms? And how far does that movement go? Do you experience any changes in your hands or your fingers just from your simple, everyday sitting here now breathing? As your breath goes in and out of your nose, does it affect anything in your mouth? Maybe in the back of your throat? Maybe your tongue? As you feel your breath coming in you and out, is there any difference in the pressure of your sitting, of your buttocks sitting on the chair, or your back lying on the floor or leaning against the chair? How much, how powerful is that very simple movement that we don't pay much attention to at all? And now I'm going to suggest something. If you want to do, I think many of us have a preference to do sensing with our eyes closed or eyes open, and we go to that pretty regularly. I want to invite those of you who usually have your eyes closed or who have your eyes closed now, can you allow your eyes to open and notice what differences there may be? And those of you who usually have your eyes open, like to work or sense that way, can you allow your eyes to close? And just with that simple little change, what happens? Does your breathing change? Does your sense of your breathing change? Maybe how you feel it, where you feel it. Maybe your breath got larger or smaller. Just noticing. If there's any discomfort because of this way that you don't preferably use, feel free to go back to what is what common, maybe more comfortable to you. And again, just notice the changes that happen in you that most of us don't even notice. And if you have gone back to your more chosen way of being, eyes open or closed, is it the same or is it different for you now? So basically, what is your experience of yourself, of your being here, right now? And most of us are sitting, some are lying. I want to invite you, and you all will do it in your own ways. If you're sitting, again, sensing the balance of your sitting now, how your weight feels, whether you're more front, whether you're leaning back. Maybe there's more pressure on one side than the other. And how your breathing is now. And where in you your breathing is now. And now I want to invite all of us to just come out of the balance that you're sitting and lean a little bit forward. And those of you who are lying or something, I'm sure you will figure out a way to just feel the pressure in you more forward, just a little bit. And that little bit might make a lot of changes. How do you experience your breathing now? How do your muscles respond? Maybe some are working more, maybe some have let go. Just noticing what this little bit of change does. And then can you allow yourself to just come back to what for you this morning is your regular sitting, lying balance? And notice again the changes that occur. Did anything change in your mouth? Did anything change in your eyes? Do they want to be open or maybe closed? Or even if they're closed, how are your eyeballs? Are they resting or are they moving? Or are they working? And then can we take our balance a little bit back? So out of the balance that we're used to, leaning a little bit backward. Those of you who have something behind you, maybe you feel the pressure, but what happens with your balance going a bit more backward? Do various muscles in your back come into action that weren't before? How does your neck feel in this position? And what's happening in your mouth? Maybe your tongue is working. Maybe your jaw has tightened or loosened. Maybe your breathing goes, moves other parts of you, goes to other places in you. And then again, can you come back to your more normal, however we feel our balance, everyday sitting, and feeling the pressure, the release, all the changes that occur just with this little change, little movement. So, what are you feeling now? I must say the word or the phrase, are you comfortable now, comes up. But then I think of Charlotte, who would never ask a question like that. But how do you feel? Where is your middle, your balance right now? And now, what if we took our balance, our sitting, and just leaned a little bit over to one side? Sitting or lying, just taking your weight, taking your structure over to one side. Which we probably do often and don't even notice. But now, what do you notice? Has anything changed in your mouth? Did your jaw respond to this moving over? How is your breath responding to this little bit of leaning? Do you feel any difference in your ears? Or along your torso, the difference, the side that you're leaning to and the other side? Did that change anything in how your legs are in contact with the floor? And then how does it feel to give up that lean and allow your whole being come back to whatever feels like balance at this moment? And how does that feel? As you come back into what I'm calling balance, whatever it feels like to you, does that side feel different from your other side? And how? And is there a possibility to come back into what we thought was center when we were first sitting here? And what changes occur? And now, of course, let's go over to the other side. Just a bit. It might feel very different than the first side, but what occurs in us this time? How does your weight distribute it? Is your weight still going down into the floor, or are you holding different places? What's happening in your belly with this little lean? And are you allowing your weight to be supported, or do you feel you need to hold it up in different places? And just notice the places, the holding. the support. How is your breathing affected by this little lean? Does your head feel as heavy on this side as it did on the other, or is it different? And now, if you allow giving up this leaning and just feel how, if what your system wants to do to come back into what we call balance, into what we feel at this moment is our center. And what is interesting for you? What is happening for you now? How is your breathing now? Maybe you can feel more full now with this sense of your front and your sides and your back. And maybe you feel less full. How is it for you right now? Where are you right now? Can you take one or both hands and just lightly touch the top of your head? Or maybe both hands. Just a light touch. And how does this relate to your feet? Your buttocks, if you're sitting. Does this affect your breathing? And letting your arms come down. I just have one more invitation for you, and this might seem like a bit far, but I invite all of us to just come up to standing. Can you still feel that touch at the top of your head? And now feeling the touch at the bottom of your feet. And feeling the touch all around you of the air on the outside, your breathing on the inside. Feeling the movement, your movement, that changes all different parts of you and even changes your balance. Feeling the changes in the inside of your mouth, the changes in your lungs and maybe your belly, the changes in your balance as the movement is while we are standing still, what we call still. Thank you. And now I invite you to come back to sitting or lying. Or stay standing, however it feels for you. And here we are. I thank you very much for exploring with me. And I would love all of us to unmute. And if anyone has anything to say, you are welcome. Please do.